I'm not some YouTuber who has watched a bunch of behind the scenes stuff and then thinks I know what I'm talking about. I grew up in the industry. Both my parents were on the original Star Wars movies and many more. And I've been in the industry for over 30 years. So here's my take at the big four changes that I've witnessed in the film industry. So there's one big difference between then and now, and that is networking. Back in the day, there was no LinkedIn, no WhatsApp groups you could just slip into and, hey, you got any sculpting work going? Back then, all the networking was done at the studio bar. So if you didn't drink, you better start learning. Because basically, your career depended on it. You'll be hitting the bar at lunchtime and you'll be hitting the bar straight after work. This was networking back in the late 80s, early 90s. That's how I did it back then. Yeah, it did create an army of functioning alcoholics, but it was worth the risk to get the job. And so now it's all online. Before, it was at the bar, which meant everything was very in-house. Okay, that's where you got your next job, but you had to have already be in the bar at the studios to get the next job. Now it's all online, which means it's about getting someone's contact details and then badgering them enough and pestering them enough before they block you. Technology. Back then in the early 90s, we built everything. Every wall, every rock, every tree was done by hand. Now everything's done on computer. All they need to do now is hit print and the machine makes it. We used to sculpt art department models with our hands. We'd have the drawings, we'd have references. The art director would say, look, hey Joel, this is the tree I want. And then we will make a model of the tree. And then from that model, we would scale up the full size job on stage. Or they just create a computer program for a CNC machine and it will carve a huge block of poly into like the perfect, near perfect shape. And it's not just movies. Back in the day, if there wasn't a big film to be done, we had big budget commercials, we had big budget music videos. Those were all the little jobs that filled out the work. So the introduction of green screens and blue screens early on killed so much of my work. Literally overnight that stuff went. Now, why would you rent a big expensive soundstage, a big expensive crew, when you can just pop up a green screen, throw an actor in front of it and do it all in post? The studios love it. It's quick, cheap and easy. Money and workflow. Back in the day, there were a few of us in the industry, which meant there was more work to go round. You could roll from one job to the next without packing up your tools. Life was great. So now there's an army of people all going for that one job. Competition is fierce and it's not all about skill anymore. Now it's about, how can I put this? Strategic arse kissing. Harry Potter was the worst for this because everybody knew who was on the film. Next year there's going to be another Potter. And then after that's going to be another Potter. And then after that's going to be another Potter. This is something you didn't really get in the film industry. Even with the Star Wars movies, there's always a couple of years in between each production. But on Potter, it was year after year after year, which created the most amount of arse kissing I've ever seen in my life. It was practically an Olympic sport. I've never been great at that game and I never will be. It's just not in me to do it. But these days it feels that things have been ramped up in that department. Because like I say, there are so many people wanting those very few jobs. Then there's the build time. It felt like we had ages to do it. Now it's get in, get out. I'd start the job with one haircut and I'd finish the job with a completely different style. That's how long you had. The golden time of bonding with the job, as we used to say. We used to stand there, look at the job. You'd be making some big clay job, rolling your cigarette, looking at it, really studying and looking at it, maybe have a sip of your tea, you put your tea down, you're looking at it still, you go, yeah, I might just tweak that little bit there, and I might just do, yeah, I might do, not anymore. Now they bring you in, pile on the overtime, run you ragged, and poof, you're gone. And then they're on to the next lot. Okay, it's fast, it's brutal, but that is the way the industry is now. You don't have the glory days of sitting there bonding with, smoking a cigarette and bonding with your job. It's a fast-paced industry, like a factory vibe. Okay, it's sad, but that is the way it is. Hurty feelings. So the crew don't worry about hurty feelings. There was no DEI, there was no pronouns, there was none of that stuff. You were bullied relentlessly for about 4 weeks. And if you're still standing by the end of it, you've earned your place. Congratulations, you're in. You kind of think of it like African tribes. Okay, you got your African tribe, you got your village. They'll send out a kid who's reached whatever age. Off you go. Go and survive on your own for 4 weeks, and if you come back, you'll be classed as a warrior and respected by the tribe. Well, that was the film industry. If you couldn't take all the bullying that came with it, if you couldn't take it, then you had no place. You were weak. Back in the day, we lived on tea and beer. That was the British film industry. That was the way. Tea and beer. It was practically mandatory, actually. The only option you had was, do you want sugar with that? But apart from that, you're drinking tea or beer. Now, I remember a plasterer once, many years ago. Dave is his name. I still can't believe he did it, but he snuck in to the workshop with a bottle of water. No one drank water back then. How dare you? You put a tea bag in it and some milk. You don't drink water from a bottle? Jesus. I mean, he was sacked, and quite rightly so. Why? For being a pussy. Now it's all frappuccinos and gluten-free goat's milk and safe spaces. And as for the DEI, now over the years, the film production companies, the Disneys, the Warner Brothers and Netflix, they've all done it, pushing this DEI stuff on it. It's like a cult. It's like they're trying to program you. They have you all sitting out in a big marquee tent with spaced out desks, okay, like something from 1984, and they're pushing it on you, pushing it hard, and you're sitting there for an hour looking at it and going, what are we doing? Now, on a very recent film I was on, I won't say the name, but the whole of construction was halted. Okay, and we were all brought onto a stage while this transgender person started lecturing us about pronouns and all that stuff. I could see the construction manager getting annoyed and looking at his watch thinking, I've stopped all my boys from working. This is costing me how much money off my budget to listen to this. And someone actually put their hand up. Fair dues to them. We were all thinking it. Excuse me, yeah. Are there actually any transgender people on this film? No. So we're all standing here having this talk about transgenderism for someone who actually doesn't work on the film. This is all a what if? Yes, the industry has changed. Youngsters now, they won't know what it's like to be bullied every day. Work hard, hit the bar straight after, get hammered, turn up at 8 AM and do it all again with a huge hangover That made it great. That's what was great about the film industry. It created a family vibe. It really did. Jokes aside, it actually did create a family vibe. And now I feel like the film industry has lost that. You don't get to know the other departments so long. You're not there long enough, you know. Back then, you bonded with the other departments. The friends that I've got now in the plaster shop, they're friends that I've had way back in the mummy days, you know, 27 years ago, 30 years ago, because we had such a laugh. So that's my take on the big four changes. Thanks for watching till the end of the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.